Hi, I'm Amy from the Unmistakably You Wedding Academy.
And I'm Chrissy.
And we're here to talk to you today about what to do as soon as you've gotten engaged. First of all, if that's you, congratulations. It's such an exciting time. I know that your head is probably spinning and you have a million ideas of what you want to do and what you want your dress to look like and where you want to hold the wedding. But I just want to put on the brakes for a quick little second, and we're going to just talk through a couple of things that you need to think about before you start committing to anything in terms of, purchases or commitments or contracts that get signed. So the first thing that I would advise you to do is take time with your partner to sit down and come up with first a realistic guest list. And sometimes that, as we know, can be kind of challenging. Everybody seems to all of a sudden have an opinion as soon as you're talking about who you're going to invite to your wedding. Okay. So make sure that you write it down, that it's realistic, and that you've, as we know, talked to your parents probably about any feelings that they have about who needs to be invited. But make sure that you're not working with just estimates. Sometimes clients come to us and they say, well, we think it's going to be about 100 people. And really that's just based on the fact that they think 100 is a nice number. So watch out for that. You want a realistic idea of how many guests, because that's going to very much drive your budget and your venue choice. Yep. And then the second thing to make sure that you have a solid sense of is your budget. And it's really hard to know what's realistic if you've never planned a wedding before. $5,000 is a lot of money. $10,000 is a lot of money. But in wedding world, it doesn't go that far.
It does not.
So you want to think realistically about what you're comfortable committing. And if what you're comfortable committing is $5,000, there's absolutely a way to have a wedding that's going to be perfect for you and that will keep you financially comfortable. It's also really, really easy to spend $50,000 or $60,000 or $80,000 or $100,000, depending on the choices that you make. So have a realistic idea of guest list and budget before you really start doing any research or investigating any venues or, making any big purchases.
Definitely come up with a list of priorities and figure out what's most important to yourself and your partner, and see if you can come to a good compromise. And
compromise is a great word.
Absolutely.
I use that all the time. I often liken the whole wedding planning process to buying a house. You will come up with a list of must-haves when you're buying a house. Yep. And then if you've ever done it, you know that you go out and you see some houses and this house ticks all the boxes except that it only has one bathroom. Or this house is perfect except that the backyard's too small. And so it's always about compromise, and the same thing applies to your wedding planning for sure. I would also suggest that if your parents are likely to be involved financially, or if they're particularly opinionated, as some of them are, that you sit down and you do have some conversations with them first. It might be kind of uncomfortable to say, so are you planning on contributing financially? But that's something that you need to know, because it will absolutely shape the structure of your day and the number of guests that you can financially invite, and whether you go with a full, 3-course meal in an elegant ballroom, or whether you need to pare it back and keep it smaller and more affordable.
Like a cocktail reception type.
Absolutely. Yeah. And different styles of weddings are suited to different styles of venues. So it's important that you set those priorities, you have conversations, and you come up with kind of a general structure for your day before you start visiting any venues. Because if you are having a cocktail style reception, it's going to potentially mean that you're looking at different kinds of venues than if you're having a sit-down plated meal, or if you're having, food trucks, for instance. So definitely coming up with priorities and setting a budget and a realistic guest list before you do anything else are going to, those two things are going to serve you really, really well before you make any commitments. So thank you so much for joining us today. If you have any questions, you can find us at www.unmistakably.you.com. You can email me at amy@unmistakably.you.com. You can find us on all the socials. Good luck with the plans.
Congratulations.